Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. Immerse yourself in the intricate world of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, as this summary showcases the captivating tale of love, societal conventions, and individuality unfolding in 19th-century England. In this classic masterpiece, we follow the story of Elizabeth Bennet and her sisters as they navigate the rigid norms and expectations of their time. Encountering the charming yet enigmatic Mr. Darcy, initially despised for his aloof nature, Elizabeth experiences a connection that forces her to challenge her own biases and preconceived notions. In this summary, you will witness the Bennet sisters' quest for love, social struggles, and the incessant quest to overcome the overwhelming pressure to marry well.
Pride and Prejudice. Mrs. Bennet is eager to marry off her 5 daughters, but they have no dowry. When the wealthy and attractive Charles Bingley rents a nearby property, Mrs. Bennet sees this as a perfect opportunity to find a husband for her oldest daughter Jane. However, Bingley's friend, Fitzwilliam Darcy, offends the locals with his arrogant behavior. Elizabeth, the second oldest Bennet sister, overhears him insult her and begins to dislike him. Mrs. Bennet's plan to have Jane stay overnight at Netherfield backfires when Jane catches a cold. Elizabeth walks 3 miles to keep Jane company and catches Darcy's attention with her wit and intelligence. Meanwhile, Mary excels in academic comments and has an appalling singing voice, while Kitty and Lydia flirt shamelessly with young officers. The complexities of love and marriage in Pride and Prejudice. In Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Collins, a clergyman, announces his visit to Longbourn where he proposes to Elizabeth. However, Elizabeth rejects his proposal, and he marries her friend Charlotte instead. Elizabeth's belief in true love leads her to fall for George Wickham, whose accusations against Mr. Darcy lead her to distrust him. Despite her misgivings, Elizabeth's relationship with Mr. Darcy grows, and she eventually realizes her true feelings for him. This classic novel explores the complexities of love and marriage in the Regency era. Austen's Pride and Prejudice. The lives of the Bennet sisters are not as they seem. Jane hides her heartbreak as Mr. Bingley leaves for London without a word while his sister hints he's fallen for Georgina Darcy. Elizabeth, convinced that Mr. Darcy is to blame for the lovers' separation, is dissatisfied with the world. However, a visit from Mr. Gardiner and his wife offers some respite. They suggest taking Jane to London to take her mind off her troubles. Before they depart, Mrs. Gardiner warns Elizabeth against falling for Wickham due to his lack of wealth. Elizabeth hesitates but ultimately decides against it. Soon after, Wickham leaves Elizabeth for a wealthy lady. Darcy's passionate rejection. After spending time with Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Elizabeth is visited by Mr. Darcy and his cousin Colonel Fitzwilliam. While Darcy reveals his love for Elizabeth, she learns that he interfered with Jane's relationship with Bingley and rejected his proposal. Darcy's revelation. Darcy writes a letter to Elizabeth, disclosing Wickham's deceitful character and his own opinion on Jane's feelings towards Bingley. He also explains how Mrs. Bennet and her daughter's behavior impacted his decision to prevent Jane and Bingley's relationship. Though mortified, Elizabeth concedes that his opinions are not entirely unjust. Upon her return home, Elizabeth finds Lydia and Kitty talking about men, and she tries to stop Lydia from going to Brighton, but her efforts are in vain. Unexpected romance. Elizabeth visits Mr. Darcy's country castle, Pemberley, where she is amazed by its natural beauty and learns that he is a kind and generous man. However, her hopes for a future with him are shattered when she receives news of her sister's elopement with Mr. Wickham. Darcy's secret mission. After Lydia and Wickham run off, Mr. Gardiner locates them in London with Darcy's help. Darcy pays off Wickham's debts and offers him money to marry Lydia on the condition of keeping it quiet and leaving the army. Lydia and Wickham return to Longbourn as a newly married couple, much to the family's embarrassment. However, Darcy's noble act remains unknown. In this chapter, the Bennet family anxiously waits for news about Lydia and Wickham's whereabouts and wedding plans. Mrs. Bennet instructs Mr. Gardiner to persuade Wickham to marry Lydia and to consult her before buying a dress. When news finally arrives, it is revealed that Darcy had discreetly orchestrated everything behind the scenes to prevent further scandal and disgrace for the Bennets. He financially assists Wickham to pay off his debts and marries Lydia on the condition of leaving the army. While Lydia flaunts her wedding ring in front of the village, nobody in the Bennet family knows about Darcy's crucial role in the matter. Unbeknownst to them, Darcy's secret mission was one of loyalty and love towards Elizabeth and her family. Unexpected turn. Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy return to Netherfield, and while Bingley pursues Jane with Darcy's approval, Lady Catherine de Bourgh intervenes in Darcy's proposal to Elizabeth. Lady Catherine demands Elizabeth to give up the idea of marrying Darcy. However, her attempts backfire, and Darcy proposes to Elizabeth a second time, which she happily accepts.
As you reach the end of this skillfully crafted tale, written by the iconic Jane Austen, pause to reflect on the lessons and takeaways from her portrayal of 19th-century societal norms and expectations. Witnessing the Bennet sisters' journey for love and happiness, we are invited to examine our own biases and judgments. As Elizabeth's encounters with Darcy evolve, they both learn the importance of understanding individual characters and looking beyond social status. The story of A Pride and Prejudice offers readers an in-depth exploration of love and relationships, pushing everyone to pursue genuine connections.